Are you gaining weight even while eating clean? Exhausted no matter how much you sleep? Losing hair, battling brain fog, or just feeling off? Even though your doctor keeps saying that your labs are normal? Look, you're not crazy. It's probably a thyroid problem that's been misdiagnosed, misunderstood, and massively overlooked. I'm Dr. Ernst, and on Saturday, December 13th at 10 a.m., I'm hosting a free masterclass, Thyroid Heal Thyself. I'm going to reveal the root causes of hypothyroidism that your doctor never checks. You'll learn why thyroid medications stop working, how liver congestion, gut inflammation, and even hidden immune triggers shut down hormone conversion. And I'm going to give you a 3-step functional protocol that can finally restore your energy, your metabolism, and your sanity. If you've tried everything and feel stuck, this masterclass will show you what everyone else has missed. Here's what to do. Grab your phone right now. Text your name and email and the word thyroid to 704-906-2094. That's thyroid, name and email to 704-906-2094. Your breakthrough starts the moment you hit send.
Would you like to experience a better night's sleep? Want to feel well rested and ready for your day? Discover an amazing solution with Celliant Sleep Recovery. Our Celliant Sleep Recovery products are made from a patented yarn embedded with a blend of 13 infrared active minerals. Celliant technology never washes out. The benefits will last for their entire lifespan. Minerals reflect the body's own energy by using Celliant infrared active technology, boosting your oxygen levels and improving circulation to reach REM sleep gracefully. Our customers love to comfortably sleep throughout the night because of Celliant. We've conducted 9 independent clinical studies by well-respected scientific institutions and universities that prove the many positive effects Celliant has on the body. Our technology is designed to help you achieve a refreshing sleep recovery. Get into bed to experience our smooth Celliant Egyptian cotton blend sheets. Protect your mattress against the sands of time with our Celliant mattress protectors. With our pillow protectors, you get the benefits of our recovery therapy. Explore new places and feel well rested throughout your journeys. Discover luxurious support that allows you to sleep in almost any position. Neck blankets are small and compact. You can bring them with you just about anywhere. Experience the foundation your body deserves. Start waking up refreshed and always ready for the day ahead. It's time to achieve the best sleep of your life to unlock your hidden potential. Start experiencing a better night's sleep with our Celliant Sleep Recovery products today. Celliant. Recycle your body's energy.
What if we told you that the health benefits of coffee could actually be increased through conscious roasting, sourcing, and processing? Introducing Purity, a health-conscious coffee company. At Purity, we've brought together a world-class team to analyze every step in the production chain from cherry to cup. We make decisions with only one thing in mind. How can we make the healthiest coffee in the world? Here's our 3-step process. Step 1. We search the world for the highest quality organic green beans that meet our exacting standards. Way less than 1% of coffee worldwide fit our sourcing criteria. Step 2. We test, and test again to create a specific roasting protocol for each harvest that maximizes healthy compounds and minimizes toxins. Step 3. We nitrogen pack our coffee within 48 hours of roasting and deliver to your door every 2 weeks to ensure maximum freshness. The result is the ultimate coffee drinking experience. You'll not only taste the difference in our clean, healthy coffee, with Purity, you'll feel the difference.
Our coffee club members report a bright, alert lift with less jitters than regular coffee and much more gentle on the stomach.
Sign up for Purity today, and you'll never have to worry about your source for healthy coffee again.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. Hey, it's a show where pounds are shed, disease is dead, and where you get to be set free from your health problems. Think of this show as your weekly gateway to elevating your health, looking deeper, thinking sharper, and refusing to expect and accept the shallow recommendations of conventional medicine. We're diving deep into something that, frankly, a lot of people don't really like to talk about, but I've gotten a ton of questions in the last week or so in our thyroid series. Dr. Ernst, how can I fix my thyroid if I don't have a thyroid? Yes, you heard that correctly. We're talking about fixing thyroid function even if you're one of those unique individuals that has had your thyroid gland completely removed or irradiated or shut off. Here's the one thing that you need to know about hypothyroidism is it can still be present even if you don't have a thyroid gland. Don't worry, a lot of the doctors say. What we'll do is we'll just replace your thyroid hormones with a medication. And most people assume that now that my thyroid's been out because of whatever the cause was, which we're going to talk about today, that they assume their energy and their metabolism and their weight and their hair and their mood and their digestion is all going to get perfect. But what we often see is they usually continue to struggle with symptoms, which is the reason why their thyroid broke down and had to be removed in the first place. Weight gain that doesn't budge, exhaustion that won't break even with caffeine, brain fog that can make even simple tasks seem like they're overwhelming, dry skin, thinning hair, constipation, mood swings, cold hands and feet, and a metabolism that feels like you're trying to walk through molasses. Do you ever feel like that? And when you often go back to your doctor and have them look, no, you're medicating properly, TSH looks good, T4 looks good, your labs are telling us you're taking everything properly. But here's the truth I want to talk about today. The dose of your thyroid medications is not the issue. The deeper reality, and one that most people don't ever discuss, is that thyroid medication, especially T4, so things like Synthroid and levothyroxine and Tyrosent, it doesn't fix the pathophysiology, meaning it doesn't activate your metabolism. It doesn't activate cellular energy. T4, that Synthroid, that medication is inactive, and it must be converted into active T3. And that conversion does not happen in your thyroid. It happens in two other places, your liver and your intestines. So what happens when someone has had their thyroid removed, either because of cancer or nodules or long-standing autoimmunity or a goiter? Well, what happens is nobody ever talks to them about their gut health, their inflammation, their microbiome, the possibility of a leaky gut or toxicities. And so you guessed it, the thyroid's out, boom. And now you have to take a medication. But because most of the people are not working on their bodies downstream, conversion pathways remain obstructed. Receptors could be blocked. There can be a leaky gut creating autoimmunity. And the crazy thing is that the very cause of what maybe made your thyroid have to come out in the first place now starts attacking the thyroid medication. And so what happens is you still are constantly put on more and more and more. I've seen this over and over again in our clinic, and we're going to discover why thyroidectomy is not necessarily the answer, but yet if you've had it done, you can't undo it. So how do we solve for you now? Making sure that your thyroid hormones work properly. Everything you need, guys, is located in my Thyroid Heal Thyself ebook. We've been giving this away for the last 3 or 4 weeks now. I have a masterclass next Saturday, the 13th of December. We already have over 700 people registered. Look at the intent of people going, yes, I'd love to lose weight. I'd like to get my energy back. I want my brain fog gone. And now for all of you who've been asking, well, what about me? I don't have a thyroid. Can I still get benefits from the event? Yes, you can. Text the word thyroid plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. I'll send you the ebook for free today, and you get access to the masterclass, which is a live event. Guys, when I say live, I mean you and me in person on the computer. Ask your questions, you get answers, and I'll show you how you can correct thyroid metabolism even if you don't have a thyroid. And if you have a thyroid and you're taking thyroid medications, how do we get to the root cause So you can correct that and lower or reduce the reliance on the medications. And that'll be the second half of our show today. So why do people have their thyroid removed? Well, I'd like to start with just discussing that the number one reason for thyroid removals in the human body is because of an autoimmune condition, particularly Hashimoto's thyroiditis, that has been going on long-standing for years. Hashimoto's is technically not a thyroid problem. It's an immune system problem where autoimmune antibodies start attacking thyroid tissue. So if you go undiagnosed for years, which by the way is what happens for most people, you don't just wake up and go, man, you know what? Something's wrong with my thyroid. You go in and they say, we got to remove your thyroid. It starts with symptomatology 10, 15, 20 years ago. It goes with the doctors looking and going, hypothyroid, take meds. And then it goes to where the autoimmunity starts attacking the tissues. For years, it creates swelling, nodules, decreased output of hormones, and lab abnormalities that often make the doctor think your thyroid is the problem. But on this analogy, ready for this? Your thyroid in this instance is a victim, not the villain. So removing the thyroid doesn't do anything to stop the autoimmunity. And so that's the trap people get stuck into. The second major reason that someone might have their thyroid taken out is because of nodules. And again, this happens a ton of time. We get people ask, hey, I have a thyroid nodule. What should I do? You know, my doctor's thinking it might be this or that. Nodules form when the thyroid is inflamed or under stress. Think of a nodule as like it's the smoke, not the fire. It's the effect you see, not the root cause. So instead of looking at the nodule itself, we're going to say, that could be heavy metal exposure. It could be chronic systemic inflammation. It could be an iodine imbalance, a leaky gut. Here's a big one. Chronic viral infections are huge. So to just remove the thyroid, which unfortunately happens often, either a portion or half of it because there's nodules, isn't always the most it's an aggressive technique that can be done surgically, but it's not the way we would start looking at it holistically. Another main reason is physically having cancer, but it's far less common than what a lot of people believe. Most thyroid cancers are often slow growing and usually related to environmental toxins or things like radiation exposure or endocrine disruptors. And even in thyroid cancer cases, post-surgical people, so you've had your thyroid removed, we still need to figure out why did the thyroid get suspect of cancer in the first place. Often it's because there's an autoimmunity attacking the tissue or there's liver detoxification issues. So when someone undergoes a thyroidectomy, I would like to say, you've already had it. Okay, I get it. You have to take the medication so we can keep your T4 levels good. But we want to figure out what was the cause of the issue in the first place and start helping to correct that so that you make your thyroid hormones properly. Some people get thyroidectomies because they have enlarged goiters. But remember this, a goiter is almost always because of nutrient deficiencies, specifically selenium and iodine and zinc and B vitamins. So if you don't have enough of these nutrients you need to make thyroid hormone, your thyroid will get bigger because it's trying real hard to pull those nutrients out of your bloodstream. So cutting out portions of the thyroid in this instance may actually make the condition worse because your body's innately making the thyroid bigger to help pull. So if someone says to us, hey, my thyroid has been removed, now my thyroid problems are probably solved because the issue was my thyroid was suspect. Remember, the thyroid is not the cause in most of the situations. Rarely is the origin of the issue your thyroid, but it is the first victim and it's the first organ that starts to show the effect, especially if there's liver or gut or immune issues. So why is it that once the thyroid's been removed, most people still have thyroid problems? Well, once the thyroid's removed, you have to take a prescriptive medication. So either levothyroxine or Synthroid or some Tyrosent or some sort of T4 medication. And T4 sounds like a replacement of what the thyroid is making, and that's kind of true, but also not. T4 is inactive. So yes, your thyroid makes T4, but it has no metabolic power. And because these, you could think of it as like buckets of T4 are now floating all around, you have to take T4 and turn it into T3. And that does not take place in the thyroid. That happens in the liver and in the intestines. In fact, most of the conversion happens in the liver. Your liver will convert 60% of the T4. Now, in this instance, they're taking this T4. So if you're on a T4 medication, no matter if your thyroid's been removed or not, please listen and understand this. That is an inactive hormone. Your body has to convert that hormone into active T3. Think of it as T4 as a light bulb. And it's just there, but it's not on. It doesn't do anything yet. You have to activate the light bulb. You have to turn that light bulb on. And that turning on, that activation takes place in the liver. 60% in the liver, 20% of it happens in your gut, and the remaining actually happens in the tissues of your body, your brain, your muscles. So here's the critical question. If your thyroid is gone and your medication is only providing you with T4, what is currently going on in your liver? Is it inflamed? Is it fatty? Is it toxic? Is it sluggish? And the answer is T4 stays as T4. You can't convert it into T3, so your body expresses hypothyroidism even though you don't have a thyroid anymore. If your gut's inflamed or there's dysbiosis, same thing. And here's the kicker, guys. When conversion is poor, your body will take that thyroid hormone that you're swallowing and turn it into what's called reverse T3. This is like an anti-thyroid hormone. It blocks your metabolism. It slows your weight. It makes it difficult for you to produce energy. It competes with the T3 receptor. So guess what raises reverse T3? Stress, inflammation, infections, toxins, the same very things that caused more than likely the issue for the thyroid to either be removed or to be diagnosed as hypothyroid. So why, again, do so many people who have their thyroid out have labs that look perfect, but they still themselves feel miserable? Because T4, the hormone you're taking, will make your brain balance out the TSH stimulation hormone. And to a medical physician, if TSH is normal and T4 is normal, you're normal. But this is a vicious cycle. The persistence of symptoms is not due to poor medication. It's due to the physiological response in your body. Until your liver health and your gut health and your stress metabolism, mitochondrial function, and detox pathways are corrected, no amount of T4 medication you take is actually going to solve the problem. Which brings us to now a major overlooked issue with a lot of people in the autoimmunity. And it's this. What happens when you have an autoimmunity and that's the reason that you had the thyroid removed in the first place, and now that you're taking the medication, that same autoimmunity is attacking the medication, which causes a bigger issue. So the challenge becomes this. If your body has an autoimmunity, you can start to attack the tissues, the receptors. And so what we see here is if an autoimmune disease is present, then even when you're taking the medication, you still have symptoms. Did you know that the number one reason that people are diagnosed as hypothyroid is an autoimmune condition? Antibodies are attacking the thyroid and or the thyroid hormone. Did you know that the number one reason thyroids are removed is because of long-standing autoimmunity? If autoimmune diseases causes the thyroid to fail in the first place, removing your thyroid does not automatically shut off the autoimmunity. The immune system doesn't just magically repair itself. Antibodies that once attacked the thyroid proteins usually are still elevated in the blood. And then when you swallow that medication, T4, they start to attack the medication. And this is where things get really fascinating for people who have been on thyroid medications. When the antibodies see and recognize the synthetic thyroid medication as foreign, the immune system can start to attack the synthetic hormone. Your body sees it as foreign, it tags it as a threat, and it begins to neutralize it. Over time, the effectiveness of the medication the person is taking diminishes, not because the dose is insufficient, but because your immune system is physically destroying it. So what happens? you're going to start to see, even when medicated, that your labs start to drift off target. And your doctors will recognize this during your annual physicals, and they'll go, you know what? It's time for us to just increase that dose. And you go, but I don't understand. I don't have a thyroid anymore. How would I have to take more? Well, you're not feeling any better. Your labs are shifting off. So we increase prescriptive doses. And now here's where it gets crazy. The antibodies are still present. So the medication dose has gone up, and it just continues to attack it. And it's not unusual for people that have no thyroid to start even getting up into the 150, 170, even 200 micrograms of Synthroid, and yet still profoundly feel hypothyroid. So sluggishness, tiredness, achy joints, weight gain that's unexplained. And the real tragedy is most conventional physicians are not testing for the antibodies in the first place. They assume the autoimmune disease goes away because the thyroid is gone. So how could there be any more effect? But when antibody levels remain inflamed or elevated, inflammation remains high. And if inflammation stops the conversion, now we have two problems. The medication's being taken but not converted into active thyroid hormone. And there could be autoimmune antibodies present, thus attacking the thyroid medications. So we have blocking of receptors. If the liver is toxic, reverse T3 starts to elevate. If your mitochondria are sluggish, which almost everyone's is, it starts to wreak havoc on your ability to produce energy. Because the T3 levels are dropping, digestion starts to become affected. We see blood sugar instability start to come about. So in other words, the very reason for the thyroid being removed creates the very symptoms that people are trying to manage by saying, well, I got the thyroid out, I'm taking my medications, everything should be fine. And it leads to one of the greatest misconceptions in thyroid care, in my opinion. People believe that their medication just isn't working so much anymore, so they take more. But the real issue is there's a war going on underneath. There's a physical attack where the immune system has become misprogrammed or misfiring, and it goes after the medication. So the truth is simple. If an autoimmune disease process is not addressed, no matter how much medication you take, you're never going to get well. So the functional approach to fixing thyroid physiology, even if your thyroid is gone, is to look downstream. So we have to get the right kind of testing done. Heavy metals could have been the reason for the nodules and or the cysts or the reasons for the partial removal. So we need to test to see if there's heavy metals present. Co-infections, especially Epstein-Barr virus, and even staph and dysbiosis, infections within the gut, can lead to an autoimmunity. So we need to screen. It's simple. You do a blood test. You look for differentials. We see if there are antibodies against viruses. We see if the white blood cells are shifting, monocytes elevating, lymphocytes elevating. I know you might be saying, like, Dr. Ernst, like you're saying things that are just, okay, ready? Super easy to understand in the Thyroid Heal Thyself ebook. Everything you guys need as far as solving autoimmunity and liver issues and gut issues are inside this ebook. Simply text the word thyroid plus your name and email right now. I'll get you connected to the masterclass we're hosting next Saturday. You can join over 700 people locally that are saying, I want to get well. I want my energy back. I want to lose weight. I want my hair to thicken. Guys, these are all issues related to thyroid. But Dr. Ernst, my doctor says my thyroid's fine. Yeah, it could be at the superficial level, but are you converting properly? But Dr. Ernst, I don't have a thyroid. Is there any reason I should join you for this event? Yes, we just discussed this. Even if your thyroid's gone, my question to you, are you converting the medication you're taking into active thyroid hormone properly? Simple blood test will answer that. Are you making reverse T3 causing your symptoms to be present? Again, a blood test will tell us that. Do you have antibodies present? And if that's the case, be careful because the medication can start to get attacked and thus why your symptoms are still there. A simple blood test can show that. Is your gut leaking? Urine panels. Do you have heavy metals? Hair tests. Guys, there's so many ways today to test for this. So the good news, even if your thyroid has been removed, you can still rebuild healthy thyroid function because it requires shifting from this idea that your thyroid was the problem in the first place. How do we do this? Well, the first step is testing so we can see what picture is going on. The second step is to start restoring your liver. Liver restoration involves detoxification, anti-inflammatory nutrition, removal of chemical and environmental toxins, and enhancing the enzymes that are responsible for converting T4 into T3. So when your liver clears itself, conversion drastically improves. Step number 2, you have to rebuild your gut. 20 to 35% of thyroid functionality and conversion happens in your intestines. So if you have bloating, constipation, diarrhea, reflux, these are all signs that your gut is involved. Gut repair is simply removing the triggers, reducing inflammation, wheat and corn and rice and oats, and helping you to reactivate your digestive process, typically by just simply giving you digestive enzymes. The third step is getting your reverse T3 levels to come down. This means managing your stress, working on your adrenal glands, and potentially balancing your blood sugars and your cortisol. When you do this, you'll see reverse T3 levels drop and your weight starts to fly off. And lastly, we have to find out, are there antibodies in activation? This involves really going deep into an anti-inflammatory autoimmunity diet. It's mostly getting rid of all gluten, all dairy, all inflammatory foods, testing yourself for the hidden infections. It means restoring your gut, increasing the permeability, working with nutrients like vitamin D, selenium, zinc, omega oils, magnesium. All of these are needed for balance. So just know this, when you restore your liver detox process, and guys, it's 2025, we can test fully thyroid and liver detox programs to find out if your liver's stuck in phase 1 or phase 2. We can find out if your gut's leaking with a very simple urine test, and it will show you the diet that you need to eat and the nutrients you need to take. So when we do this, what happens? Well, even without a thyroid, your medications convert better. So energy rises, weight starts to stabilize, your metabolism wakes up, your body gets activated. And that is how we restore the physiology of the human body. So the bottom line, as we have a commercial that's going to come up in about 2 or 3 minutes, my next segment's going to go through the top 3 causes of thyroid dysfunction. We're going to help you solve the autoimmunity, fix the liver and the gut, and deal with something that very rarely do people talk about, the neurological connection to your thyroid. So if you're someone listening today and you're tired all the time, your hair's thinning out, even if you've been told your thyroid's perfect, even if you don't have a thyroid, we have to think about the downstream conversions. So the bottom line again, your thyroid even being taken out doesn't mean you've lost the future ability to correct what your thyroid does for you. The pathways that activate the thyroid hormones are inside your body still. Your liver is still there. They haven't removed that. Your gut is still there. Hasn't been removed. Your immune system's still there. These pathways, when restored, will help you to convert the hormone properly. Now I hope you understand this is why the medication alone doesn't solve the problem. Why your labs don't reflect the reality of your body. Why changing dosages doesn't make you feel any better. The real solution is from addressing the physiology that surrounds the thyroid hormone. So if you've had your thyroid removed and you still feel like you're stuck in the lowest gear possible, your next step is not to push more medications. It's no more waiting. It's just simply time to find out the persistency, liver, gut, antibodies, toxins. You got it? Liver, gut, antibodies, toxins. Once you address that, then healing is possible. Energy comes back, clear thinking, life starts to come back. And so my mission with this show today is to arm you with a truth and to show you, join the masterclass next Saturday. Even if you're somebody who's like, I think my thyroid's fine, but I'd love to lose some weight, or I want my energy back. I'll show you the connections because for the majority of us, It is a thyroid challenge. We didn't even know it. Hey, it's the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. Take a moment, text the word thyroid plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. We'll be right back. Don't go away. The best is yet to come.
Wine is a fermented beverage that has been enjoyed by humanity for over 8,000 years. Our ancestors believed in its magical healing powers. Wine has been a well-studied part of our history, but recently it's changed. The wines sold today in most stores and restaurants are not the same wines enjoyed by our ancestors. Today, wine is a highly processed, factory-made product filled with toxins and industrial additives. The grapes are farmed with machines and heavy pesticide use, and the marketing is misleading and dishonest. Wines free from this human intervention still exist. They're called natural wines. These wines are a return to the old way of making and enjoying wine. Free from commercial additives, high sugar, and heavy alcohol content, these wines are a beautiful expression of nature. They're also extremely rare. Less than 1% of the world's wines are grown to this standard. They're made in hyper-small quantities by family farmers who work by hand using ancient practices. This is the kind of wine that derive from wine sources. We search the globe looking for pure natural wines, carefully nurtured by family growers who work with nature, and we take it a step further, sourcing wines that meet our strict criteria for farming, purity, and taste. We only work with organically grown wines, farmed without irrigation and without heavy machinery. Grapes are hand-picked and then fermented using native wild yeast, not the industry standard GMO yeasts. Our wines are pure, lab-tested by an independent enologist for metrics including alcohol and sugar. They also taste extraordinary, bright, fresh, and full of life. They jump out of the glass because they aren't sterilized or heavily processed.
Coffee is the single highest source of antioxidants in the Western diet. More antioxidants than kale, more antioxidants than 70% dark chocolate, and more antioxidants than blueberries.
In fact, what if we told you that coffee is really good for you?
Research shows that 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day dramatically enhances performance in high-intensity exercise, improves memory, reaction times, and overall cognitive function, decreases risk of depression, promotes weight loss by boosting metabolic rates, reduces risk of type 2 diabetes up to 40%, decreases risk of liver cancer up to 71%, reduces risk of Parkinson's up to 30%, and decreases risk of Alzheimer's up to 65%. Overall, coffee drinkers live longer. People who drink 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day have about a 15% lower risk of premature mortality compared to people who don't drink coffee.
And what if we told you that the health benefits of coffee could actually be increased through conscious roasting, sourcing, and processing? Introducing Purity, a health-conscious coffee company. At Purity, we've brought together a world-class team to analyze every step in the production chain from cherry to cup. We make decisions with only one thing in mind: how can we make the healthiest coffee in the world? Here's our 3-step process. Step 1, we search the world for the highest quality organic green beans that meet our exacting standards. Way less than 1% of coffee worldwide fit our sourcing criteria. Step 2, we test, and test again to create a specific roasting protocol for each harvest that maximizes healthy compounds and minimizes toxins. Step 3, we nitrogen pack our coffee within 48 hours of roasting and deliver to your door every 2 weeks to ensure maximum freshness. The result is the ultimate coffee drinking experience. You'll not only taste the difference in our clean, healthy coffee, with Purity, you'll feel the difference.
Our coffee club members report a bright, alert lift with less jitters than regular coffee and much more gentle on the stomach.
Sign up for Purity today, and you'll never have to worry about your source for healthy coffee again.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. Welcome back. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst Show, the place where truth rises above the surface, where myths can fall away, and where real healing begins, right? It's a show where pounds are shed, disease is dead, and you get to be set free from your health problems. I'm your host, Dr. Aaron Ernst, and today we're continuing a conversation about your thyroid. During the first part of the hour, I got a ton of questions within the last 2 weeks. I'm talking like close to 100 people asking, what do I do if I don't have my thyroid? Can I still get my thyroid repaired? We spent the top of the hour talking about that. And because millions upon millions of people today, did you know that the thyroid prescriptions are the #1 most filled prescription in the United States today? That should shock you. Every single month, more people are getting thyroid medications filled than any other medication. So is thyroid a big deal for a lot of us? Yes. And you might be saying to yourself again, oh my gosh, I should tune out. I don't have a thyroid problem. My labs look fine. Be careful. Often your labs look fine, but you have a downstream issue. If you're struggling to lose weight, that's a thyroid. If you have brain fog, that's a thyroid. If your joints hurt, that's a thyroid. If your hair is thinning, that's a thyroid. If your skin is dry and sort of crackly, etc., that's a thyroid. So it has a lot to do with basic functions in the human body. And the title of the second half of our show today is the 3 root causes. What is it that makes our thyroid off balance, that leads to the downstream effects of why so many people are having their thyroids removed today? I looked it up during the commercial break. 150,000 thyroidectomies a year in the United States. Guys, that's 400 something per day. And considering that there's 50 states in the United States, that's 8 people every day in every state are lining up to have their thyroids removed. So the silent forces that are working against our health, especially with our thyroid, we're going to talk about that. Conventional medicine does not look for the underlying root causes. Doctors check TSH, maybe T4, rarely T3, but sometimes they do if you're lucky. And if any of those numbers are within the normal range, you will be told it's not your thyroid. But you and I both know this by now. Hopefully, if you've been tuning into our series this month, your thyroid is not shutting down because you're deficient in medications. A gland doesn't just wake up one morning and forget how to make hormones. Something must be interfering with the productivity or the conversion. And those happen years before your blood work looks bad. If you'd like sort of a cheat sheet guide on solving weight loss, resistance, brain fog, joint pain, energy issues, grab my Thyroid Heal Thyself ebook. It shows you the steps you can implement right now to start taking your health back. And again, even if you don't have a thyroid problem, I bet you would benefit from losing 10 or 15 pounds in the next 4 or 5 weeks. I bet you could benefit from waking up going, my God, my joints feel amazing. My brain is focused and sharp. Like just those alone right there. My hair is thickening would be a reason for you to send the word thyroid, plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. Ebook is yours free. Masterclass next Saturday, 10 a.m. in the morning. I'll send you a link. Open up your computer. We can chat live. Q&A with me. Let me show you how we've helped thousands of people achieve massive health changes without using prescriptive medications or procedures. Something must be interfering with the thyroid. That would be the only way that it's not producing the correct amount of hormone. Subluxation can affect the thyroid hormone by altering the vagal tone, blood flow, and the autonomic regulation of the thyroid. Toxicity, a huge issue today, can shut off the liver's ability to take T4 and turn it into T3. Your thyroid produces T4, you have to turn it into T3. If there's thyroid issues, you may convert it into something called reverse T3. And guys, here's the kicker. If your reverse T3 levels are high, it explains the chronic fatigue, the joint pain, the weight loss resistance, the brain fog, and the thinning hair. It's hormones. It's not that complicated. Excuse me, gut permeability. It drives autoimmunity. This is where we see antibodies start to come out, which can shut off the production in your thyroid, or it can shut off the actual hormone itself. You can build antibodies against the enzyme that makes thyroid hormone, or you can build antibodies against the thyroid hormone. And these aren't just theories. These are science-backed understandings of root causes. They are pathophysiologically related, meaning pathological, a formation or a reason for the change, a source of, and the physiology, how your body uses it. Pathophysiology is the study of the cause of a condition. Studies show liver toxicity makes T3, excuse me, it's a live show, sorry guys, makes T3 elevate. Today, we know that these three root causes, subluxation, liver toxicity, gut toxicity, and leaky gut or permeability issues is where the bulk of thyroid problems come from. So let's peel back these layers. Know that I have them all defined for you in the Thyroid Heal Thyself ebook, which you can grab right now by texting the word thyroid plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. Okay, major root cause number 1. Subluxation within your nervous system. Most people have never been told that your thyroid gland is actually controlled by your nervous system. Your brain communicates directly with your thyroid and gives instructions two ways: through the hypothalamic pituitary pathway. This is the hormone, thyroid stimulation hormone. It secretes into the blood, it lands on the thyroid, it tells the thyroid to make T4. But you also have a direct wire. You have a nerve, especially the vagus nerve. It regulates the output of your thyroid hormone. If you don't believe me, research published in the Neuroscience Letters Journal shows that a cervical spine dysfunction, aka alignment issues, alters autonomic balance, reduces vagal tone, and is critically involved in thyroid synthesis. So a subluxation is an interference when the spine is out of alignment, the nerve becomes compressed, and it shuts down the communication. The thyroid then receives a distorted electrical signal from the brain. And by the way, your spinal cord houses both your sympathetic and your parasympathetic nervous system. There was a massive study done in the Journal of Manipulative and Physiological Therapeutics. Okay, it's peer-reviewed, published study showing that cervical adjustments by a trained structural chiropractor measurably changed the autonomic output. So the nervous system changed. If the nervous system is irritated or compressed, thyroid metabolism goes down. Think of it like static on a radio channel. The message isn't clear, so you can't hear. Think of it like me grabbing the gain on this microphone and turning it down, which I won't because you wouldn't hear me, and going, but I don't hear you. Not that I'm not talking, it's just the gain, the sensitivity of the microphone isn't enough for you to pick up the sound of my voice. Misalignments in the upper cervical region, specifically C1, 2, and 3, can mechanically alter blood flow through the vertebral arteries. Reduced blood flow can affect hypothalamic function. And a study published in Head and Face Medicine, yes, there is a journal called Head and Face Medicine, confirms that the straightening of your spine, what's called military neck or text neck, shuts off blood flow to the brain and decreases hypothalamic hormones, which are the very ones that signal your thyroid to work in the first place. So what is the study showing? If your spine is out of alignment in your neck, you can physically compress the nerves that go to the thyroid tissue itself, and you can shut off blood flow to the brain, thus decreasing thyroid stimulation hormone. Stress hormones directly shut off thyroid stimulation hormone, and they increase reverse T3 production. Cortisol, the biggest stress hormone of them all, is known to inhibit the conversion of T4 to T3. Remember, I know this is tough, right? T4 is a light bulb. It's not on yet. It's just there. You can have a ton of light bulbs in your house, but it still be dark. You have to turn those light bulbs on. You activate T4 by turning it into T3. That takes place in your liver. Poor spinal alignment can affect the biomechanics of your ribs and lead to decreased oxygenation. Thyroid hormone requires oxygen to be produced. So your thyroid literally has to have oxygen present for it to grab iodine from your blood and make T4. So without very good oxygenation, you can slow down thyroid production. And what they've shown is for every inch forward that your head goes over your shoulders, you decrease oxygen absorption by about 10%. So if you have a 2-inch forward head posturing, you could be 20% oxygen deficient, explaining why you're so tired and why your thyroid isn't working fully. Also, poor spinal alignment affects the biomechanics of how your brain communicates to your liver and to your intestines, which is where the conversion process takes place. So what's the fix for this? Correcting subluxations using specific structural chiropractic. So going to a chiropractor who knows how to isolate and find a subluxation, show them to you with either thermography or x-rays, do a treatment to show you that your spine actually moved. This is the challenge with a lot of chiropractors, unfortunately. Show proof of movement and then go through a treatment program of 6, 7, 10, 15 weeks and then show you how your spine has changed by re-x-raying. Here was your before, 40, 60, 70% out of alignment. Here is your now, 10, 15, 20. Look at the improvements and the changes. Adjustments have been shown to restore autonomic balance, increase vagal tone, help to physically increase the pituitary thyroid signaling, improve blood flow, and reduce hormone stress. This is why thousands of patients have noted, and there's even case studies published showing you start going to chiropractic care, your thyroid can get better. It removes the interference of the communication, the way the body's designed to talk from brain to tissues, and subluxation correction is a foundational part of healing. Again, in the Thyroid Heal Thyself ebook, it's going to show you how to isolate by looking at x-rays and looking at thermographies. You could ask your doctor. Most of you have had some version of an x-ray taken on your neck. Pull it out, look at it, compare it to what I have in the ebook as a guide, and you'll find out if you have subluxations. You can grab the Thyroid Heal Thyself ebook by texting the word thyroid plus your name and email right now to 704-906-2094. And as I've mentioned, next Saturday, live Q&A. If you're going, I need help, I need a way out, hop on the event, ask your questions. I'll show you what you can do as far as testing, as far as treatments, so that you can become your own doctor and heal from this. Okay, major cause number 2 of thyroid dysfunction is liver and gut toxicity. Your liver is the primary converter. 60% of T4 to T3, light bulbs that are off to light bulbs that are on, take place in your liver. Over 60% of the hormones activated. So the question becomes, what happens if your liver is congested or fatty, which is a big deal for a lot of us, or inflamed? And the answer is real simple. Thyroid activation shuts off. Research in the journal Thyroid, now you would imagine, right? The whole journal is dedicated to nothing but thyroid, confirms that if you have a non-alcoholic fatty liver, it decreases the expression of the ability to convert T4 to T3. So you could be taking the perfect amount of thyroid medications or even have normal thyroid levels on your labs, but still have an issue because your liver can't make the hormone active. This is the biomechanical bottleneck that a lot of people deal with, and it's rarely discussed. What are the toxins involved? Bisphenol A, pesticides, phthalates from your beauty products and your lotions and creams, heavy metals, flame retardants, mycotoxins, viruses. There's a bunch, guys. The Endocrine Society published a major scientific statement identifying these specific toxins that I just mentioned to you as thyroid disrupting chemicals. What does that mean? Well, they physically block the receptors that the thyroid hormone should land in. So think of it as this wide sort of net, and hormones land in the net and then they make things active. So if I block, I tape it off. Another analogy, you know how some people, they don't want those like newspapers and stuff at their mailbox, so they physically take tape and they tape over their mailbox because now you can't put it in there. That's what an endocrine disrupting hormone or a thyroid blocking chemical does. And we know this. Our liver is processing environmental toxins, medications, alcohol, food additives every single day. And if it's overloaded, it shifts its biomechanical priorities from hormone activation, ready for this, to toxin removal. So a clogged liver simply cannot spare the energy it needs to turn your thyroid hormones on, because over here it's going, look at all this mess. I know you want your thyroid corrected, but I can't do it. Studies in the journal Environmental Health Perspectives show high toxin exposure dramatically increases the prescriptive rates of hypothyroidism. But toxicity is not just in your liver, it's also in your gut. If your gut is inflamed, here's the big challenge. Bacterial toxins and small, tiny pieces of bacteria, lipopolysaccharides, can get into your bloodstream. And these toxins, these polysaccharides, suppress thyroid receptors. There was a study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism. It shows that systemic leaky gut with lipopolysaccharide leak reduces overall thyroid activity within the body. Why am I telling you guys this? It's to show you that your gut permeability and your liver toxicity and your subluxations can be the very interferences making your thyroid not work, not because the thyroid itself doesn't work, but because it doesn't activate the thyroid hormone. So how do we work on this? Well, real detoxification isn't drinking teas or putting pads on your feet, right? I've seen it all. You must physically open the liver detox pathways. There is what's called phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 is how we take toxins and we tag them to make them water soluble. And phase 2 is how we attach them to something that gets them out of your body. It could be with glutathione, it could be with methylation. So this is why typically what we do is we give people the very nutrients that activate both phase 1 and phase 2. Dr. Ernst, what are those nutrients? You know what? There's a ton of them, and they're in the Thyroid Heal Thyself ebook. It would take me probably 15 minutes just to go through each of them. So why don't you just download the ebook and go to the section that shows you how to enhance liver function. You can do that right now by texting the word thyroid plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. Ebook is yours free. And then listen, do it. Join me next Saturday. I'm going to review all of these tests, show you where you can get them from, and walk you through a process of correcting your health so your body heals by itself. Okay, next we have a leaky gut. This is a big challenge because it's the third most misunderstood root cause of thyroid issues, including hypothyroidism and even hyperthyroidism. Leaky gut, also known as increased intestinal permeability. I say that because if you were to go Google leaky gut and thyroid, you might find some things, but if you type in increased intestinal permeability, it's the medical term for a leaky gut. All of a sudden, there's tremendous amounts of research connecting the dots. Increased intestinal permeability, leaky gut, is strongly correlated with the production of autoimmune antibodies. So in simple terms, when your gut is leaking, you can form an autoimmunity, and then your thyroid starts to become attacked. And here's why. Your gut contains 70% of your immune system activation. So when the intestinal lining breaks down, small undigested food particles, fragments of bacteria, we talked about that, the lipopolysaccharides, and even toxins can get right into your bloodstream. And then your immune system will see them and start attacking them. There's a process known as molecular mimicry where proteins from your food can look like proteins in your body, your joints. That's why joint pain is so prevalent in people with hypothyroidism. Man, I pray through the Holy Spirit that God is allowing you to understand what I'm saying. Joint pain, almost always a gut issue and a thyroid problem. Brain fog, where you actually start to decrease blood flow and begin to slightly attack the brain. Hair loss. Why? Well, we're physically destroying the follicles of the hair, and there's not a good blood flow to the scalp. Weight loss resistance. I'm doing everything right. I'm dieting, I'm exercising, I'm taking supplements, and I'm gaining weight. It's a thyroid problem. This is why the Journal of Thyroid Research, you ready for this, shows that 90% of people today who are taking thyroid medication, so if this is you or someone you know, swallowing a pill to make their thyroid good, 90% of you have an autoimmune condition that you didn't know about. Hashimoto's, where there's antibodies against the production and against the hormone itself. Leaky gut shuts down nutrient absorption. Remember, your thyroid needs iodine and zinc and selenium and vitamin D and vitamin B12 and tyrosine to make hormones. So if your gut is not absorbing them, your thyroid can't get them out of your blood. And what happens? It starts to enlarge. There's a goiter. It starts to have decreased productivity. That's hypothyroidism. Gut inflammation also affects the microbiome, the bacteria in your intestines, which is responsible for that 20% conversion. There was a study published in the journal Gut Microbes that confirms if you have a microbiome imbalance, which, by the way, almost every human being does, unless you've actively worked on fixing your gut and cleaning it out, you will see reduced thyroid activation. So the solution, we have to rebuild the intestine wall. And what does this mean, guys? It means stop eating things that inflame your gut. This is going to be almost everything that most of what you guys eat. Wheat and corn and rice and oats and dairy. And sadly, medications can increase the leak of an intestine. So note the trap. Your thyroid got off balance in the first place. Your doctors put you on T4 medication to try to help fix the imbalance. Nobody's addressing the conversion issues or the fact that there might be toxicity in your liver or your gut. Then the medications cause your gut to leak. So we start to build an antibody response. Now the antibodies are attacking your thyroid hormone that you're taking, so you're not getting as good a result. Your numbers start to shift again, and your doctor goes, well, I guess you need more. And so they give you more, and now it's like feeding this cycle. And I know, trust me, I know, because we've had so many people say, that is Dr. Ernst, that's me. How do I get out? Okay, we get out by solving those 3 major interferences. They're summarized for you in the Thyroid Heal Thyself ebook. Please text over right now your name, your email, and the word thyroid. I encourage you. It's 100% free to get this information. And then join me next Saturday, December 13th. Again, 100% free. I'm going to be online at 10 o'clock in the morning. Let me take you through a journey and show you patients who have fixed their thyroids. Let me show you how to get the right tests at massively reduced rates. Because often, most conventional physicians, they will not test you for toxicity issues or gut issues, not because they can't, but because they're untrained in it and they just don't know what to do with it. So hopefully by now, as we're wrapping up our show today, you understand the truth. Hypothyroidism is not a thyroid problem. It's a communication problem, brain to thyroid, a toxicity issue, liver isn't converting, or an immune problem due to a gut dysbiosis or a leak. In this instance, the thyroid's now being attacked. It's not the problem, it's the victim. So this is why medication rarely solves the problem. It'll make the numbers look good on paper, but it doesn't fix a subluxation. It can only make your liver more toxic, and it leads to further leaky gut. And there's the trap. We start the meds, and then we start causing the root issues to get worse. Remember, you're not broken. Your thyroid isn't weak. Even if it's been taken out, you can always upregulate liver function and gut function and get better symptomatology. Remove the interference. Healing always follows. Remember, today's show is not about treating hypothyroidism. We're not actually going to fix a hypothyroid. We're about transforming the physiology that's going on underneath. It's about giving your thyroid the chance to work the way God created it to, without being suffocated by subluxations, chemical overload, or a gut that is massively inflamed. So if you want your energy back, you want your metabolism back, you want your clarity back, you want your mood back, text the word thyroid plus your name and email, 704-906-2094. I'll shoot you the ebook for free today. We'll get you registered for the masterclass next Saturday. And then we'll show you how to start repairing yourself. Because the goal, if you remember this, is your body is self-healing, self-regulating, and brilliantly designed. When you find the cause and you remove it, restoration kicks in. So make sure you stay curious. Stay committed. Never stop pursuing the truth, because you deserve to live life to the fullest. Thank you so much for being here today. God bless each of you, and I hope you took some action and you texted the word thyroid and your name and email to 906-2094. I'll see you guys next Saturday. Be blessed. Bye-bye.